Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a Stamp and Chat with Kay. We're going to focus on the Peaceful Bundle today, the Peaceful Moments Bundle. It's the one that has all the word stamps and then all of the amazing things that you can do with the flowers. There's a bunch of flower dies and they all make poppies and all kinds of pretty things. So that's going to be fun this morning. Good morning. Welcome. Oh, it's so nice to see you sharing and caring already. Thank you. So one way to get into the drawing, because I will give away the 2 cards that I make, is to just let me know where you're watching from. Just comment as the video goes along, or you can also catch the replay and comment. I won't actually be doing the giveaway until Thursday, so you've got some time to do that. Oh yes, you're already sharing. Yes, that's another way to get into the drawing. Just go ahead and share on your timeline and make sure that I know about it by coming back and commenting on the post. Good morning. Yay, we have so many watchers. So we have a really dreary day here this morning in Minnesota, but it's nice because it's a little bit cooler out than normal, or than it has been, I should say. So this card will be a very good day brightener. It's going to have just such pretty paper. I can't wait to show it to you. Yes, good morning. Oh, we have someone watching from Scotland. Welcome, Karen. Hello. Hi, Ren from Minnesota here. Oh, so good to see you all. People from the East Coast, people from the West Coast. Hooray, that's fantastic. Okay, I think I'm going to get started with some cards that I got in the mail. You know how much I love to share those. So the first one, coming with a decorated envelope, I might add, is from my downline member, Carol Sullivan. She's out of Florida, and she just shares the most beautiful cards in our private Facebook group that we have for Creative Crafters Stamping to Share, which is the name of my downline group. And this is the card she made. And of course it uses the Forever Fern bundle, which has really been popular. My customers have been loving it. And then it also uses a whole bunch of beautiful colors. I know a lot of people have been curious as to what colors to stamp all those ferns in. So I'll just share with you what Carol did, because I think this is a really nice late summer going into fall card with these particular colors. So she used Blackberry Bliss. I think I need to move over a tad. She used Blackberry Bliss, Shaded Spruce, and soft suede. She intermingled some soft suede in there, which I thought was really nice, along with some pear pizzazz. So very pretty. You might also notice, I'll see if I can hold it a little bit closer, there's some elegant faceted gems as an accent up by the sentiment, which I just thought was a super nice touch. Now on the video, honestly, they don't show up nearly as gorgeously as they do in person, but what's nice about the faceted aspect of these gems is they catch the light as you open the card or have the card sitting on the shelf and you happen to walk by it and you just happen to see the light just sort of catches on those faceted gems, and they're very much smaller. We had some beautiful gold and silver faceted gems, but they were a little bit hard to mail. Remember how much they popped out on our cards? I mean, they were fantastic for daisy senders or for putting into onto a 3D project, but they were a little hard to mail. These have all that sparkle, but they're super easy to mail. So the next card I want to share with you comes from a newer downline member on my team, and she decorated the flap of her envelope. So that always makes it exciting when you go out to your mailbox and you see a decorated card like that. So thank you so much, Yvonne Ware. I know she's watching, so it's great to have you here. And she cased this card from someone she saw on Pinterest, and it's a very beautifully designed card, so I'm going to share it with you. You can see that the focus on this card is the Designer Series paper, which is the Ornate Garden Designer Series paper. It's one of our specialty papers in the catalog. We were able to actually order this early. Even customers, I love that Stampin' Up does that now, so they'll sometimes offer customers an opportunity to get something early, just like our demonstrators. And then she fussy cut those tiny little flowers. I just couldn't believe it. And the sentiment is from the stamp set we're using today, which is Peaceful Moments. So such a pretty card. Thank you so much, Yvonne. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. It will go on display. And another card also from a downline member, and this one, I had just made a comment on this beautiful card in our group. We have a private group, and Laura Erickson asked me if I recognized some of the papers and the gems that she used because they were from our meeting make and takes that we had this past month. And she took the little pieces in the package and came up with her own design using the prized peony set. And so here is the stamp, and it is so amazing. And she fussy cut it. Isn't that just a beautifully fussy cut card? And she uses the gold glitter gems, which also are nice and flat, but they add just a beautiful flash of sparkle on your cards. So I love that Stampin' Up! Has come out with so many nice, more flat embellishments to put onto our cards, because in this time, it's really important to get cards in the mail and put sunshine into people's lives. And these cards certainly do that. So thank you so much, Laura Erickson. Such a beautiful card. All right, so now I think, do I have anything else I need to share with you with the camera up? I don't think so. So I'm gonna, just give me a second here, and I'm gonna flip the camera down and we'll get started making these two beautiful cards today. All right, here's a couple I did in advance, and as you can see, I have them front and center focused for you on the beautiful glimmer paper. This is the Rainbow Glimmer Paper that Stampin' Up! Came out with just this new catalog. And so it's one of those things that you really have to see in person to appreciate. Now, everyone who got my paper shares did get a piece of this, so I'm sure they've been loving it. And I have been too. And in fact, funny thing, we should mention paper shares. I am actually today working on my blog post for the August through December paper shares that I'll be doing. And so that should go up sometime early afternoon. And for those of you that are signed up to get my Stamping to Share weekly newsletter, you'll get all the information in your inbox later today. So super fun. So here we go. We have the beautiful glimmer paper, and then we have this die that comes in the bundle that I just kind of overlooked because it was like, what? How do you use that die? And I'll show you why it was just so crazy. So first of all, you can see that the Peaceful Moments stamp set, which Stampin' Up! Actually introduced for the January through June mini catalog, but if you didn't happen to get it, they still have it 10% off when you purchase the stamp set and the dies together as a bundle. And I've used all of these beautiful flowers. They're lovely. And then there was this kind of crazy die. And it's just like, oh, that's different, interesting, but I just kind of ignored it. And then I thought, I am going to challenge myself to use that die and come up with a card for my downline members who have birthdays in August. And so that was my reason to get going with this, because I need to make a bunch of birthday cards for downline members who have August birthdays. So that's how I started. And anytime you have a kind of odd shaped die, you cut it out of paper. I just grabbed a piece of scrap that was laying around in my office, and it happened to be black. I happened to have some glimmer paper still out, and I cut it out. I threw it onto that glimmer paper and went, oh, okay, this is it. This is what I have to do. So that's kind of how this card started. And so I want to share with you how I cut the glimmer paper, because you can make a whole lot of cards with this particular design. And so let me set these aside for a second. So what I did is I cut it into strips like this. And so this is 2 3/4 inches wide. So you will have a big leftover piece at the end that you can use as your inside panel on your card. So you'll be seeing that in a little bit too. So this is the glimmer paper, and then once I had it cut into this long strip, I went ahead and I cut it again every 4 inches. And so then what you end up with is a panel like, I should probably get it right here, like this, and like this, and like this. Now the one I put on Instagram today, that was just with a piece of leftover glimmer paper that was in my scrap pile. So it's not cut exactly like these pieces are. So these are the pieces I'm going to work with my downline. And so I decided to pair this piece up with Granny Apple Green. And then the 2 cards that I'm making today for the giveaway, I'm going to share with you what I decided to use. I decided to take this piece and I'm going to pair it up with our Magenta Madness. So we're going to make a really bright, fun card with that. And then the other color I decided to go with was, how fun is this? This is the Mango Melody. And so we're going to have a lot of fun with these really bright, awesome colors. So let me get this out of the way. And we'll go ahead and get started here creating. So the first thing I want to do, and I don't even think I've shown you this, but I want to finish out the inside panel and get some pieces off my desk. So as you can see, it's a birthday card, and on the inside it says, wishing you every happiness this special day will bring. And it's all, again, part of that Peaceful Moments stamp set. So the inside panel is 2 pieces of Whisper White, because again, we're making 2 cards. So I've got it cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And then I'm just using some black ink that I happen to have handy. This is Tuxedo Black. And of course you could use Stays on Black as well. That would also work out well. And you're just gonna stamp about 1/3 of the way down with your inside sentiment. So we'll do that on both of these pieces of paper. And we'll put the cap back on the ink here so we don't mess anything up. And then we have some glimmer paper here that I've cut down to 3/4 by 4 inches. And we're going to go ahead and put this on as well. So I think what I'll do is I'll use some multi-purpose liquid glue just because it's so quick and I have it super handy here. And we can kind of wiggle it into place. So we'll grab this up, flip it around, and set it in. And if it does go a little bit over the edge, that's okay, because you can flip it over and give it a little trim with your paper snips. So I'd rather have it go over than under. So sometimes I just cut strips of paper and trim them even with the edge. There we go. This one actually lines up pretty good. I must have did a better job. All right, so that's a perfect lineup. Let's go ahead and take our paper snips and we'll flip this over and we will just trim this edge. And we'll have perfect cards that I'll be sending out to our winners. Let's go ahead and put them on the inside now of our cards so we don't get mixed up as to which one goes where. So I have our card bases here. Again, as I mentioned, this is Magenta Madness, a new in color, and this one is Mango Melody, one that I hardly ever use because it's so bright. However, using the fabulous glimmer paper, perfect opportunity to bring that cardstock out of the file. So we've got 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4, and just because we don't want to accidentally have a glue line at the top, we're going to get the Stampin' Seal out. I'm going to flip it over. And then again, as you're using Stampin' Seal, I'll say this a lot as we get to learning how to use this, pull it back as you bring it up and you will have no problems getting it started. All right, so we're putting this one, because it has that Mango Melody right here, we're going to put that with the Mango Melody, and this one, because it has a little tinge of the Magenta Madness, we'll put that in the Magenta Madness card. So what I meant was flip it up like this, and then your Stampin' Seal will always be ready to go at the end. All right, then we'll go ahead and put this in. Oh my goodness, how pretty! Oh, so gorgeous. Whoever our winners are, they are so lucky to get these cards because they are so pretty. All right, so we're going to get these out of the way, and we're going to talk about the next step. The next step is to go ahead and start setting up the panel that's going to go on top of your card bases. Let's see, this is probably hard for you to see. Let me see if I've got some scrap. I do. So we have 2 pieces of basic black here, and I've cut them at 4 by 5 1/4. So it's your basic step down panel for your card front. And then we want to take this and run it through our brick and mortar 3D embossing folder. So let me go grab that folder because I think I have it across the room. So the way you want to put it in this folder, because when you see these folders, it's very tempting to go like this and just pop that in. But that's going to give your bricks on the vertical, and you want your bricks on the horizontal. So when you're using this folder, good idea to line it up with this line here at the bottom. That helps you have a nice straight look. And then you close it up, and you're going to run it through like this, because that way your bricks will be horizontal and not vertical. And so let's go ahead and look at some that I've already done in advance. And again, this is probably a little hard to see, but what's really cool about the 3D embossing folders is literally, you guys, this is 3D. It pops up individual bricks so that they stick out further than the other bricks. I mean, it's just brilliant. I love this. I love the way Stampin' Up! Thinks of so many awesome ways to make their tools just so fun and interesting to use. All right, so we've got this ready. Then the next thing that we need to do is have our Rainbow Glimmer Paper cut down to size. And so the size that I'm using for the panels that will go onto the brick and mortar here is 2 3/4 by 4 inches. So that's that size. Then we're just going to stack these where eventually they're going to go, because now we have some other things we need to do. So we have to grab some basic black panels. Remember, I had just grabbed a scrap when I first started doing this. Well, that scrap just happened to be sized this size. So it's 2.5 inches by 3 3/4. I have to bring that scrap paper in again because I know you guys are not able to see this. This is a problem when I do black. There we go. 2.5 by 3 3/4. And then what you want to do is you want to take a new product that Stampin' Up! Has, and it's called adhesive sheets. So I have some here, and I'll show you on one of these how this works, but you're going to want adhesive sheets. Just makes it so easy putting it on the glimmer paper. So these are cut at 2 1/4 by 3 1/2. That way it's not gonna flip out over the edge, which can make for really messy die cutting. So you want to have it a little bit smaller than your actual panel. So we're gonna just do one of these. So I'm gonna flip it over here or this way. Here we go. So what is so weird about this, and I gotta tell you, it just goes against the way my brain thinks, which you know, isn't unusual because a lot of things challenge my brain. The thing with adhesive sheets is you think when you pull it off that the part you're pulling off is the part you should discard. Well, it's actually the opposite. The part that you pull off is actually the part that you use, right? Confusing. So when you pull off this little sheet, do not discard it because that is where all the adhesive is. I mean, I'm used to it now, but when I first started using this, I was like so confused. So there we go. Not too hard. Then we're going to go ahead and grab the other little side here. And again, so the part you pull, the part you pull away is the part you use. And it's super sticky. So I cannot emphasize enough Do not put your fingers on this. You'll pull off half the adhesive. Handle it very gently. Bring it up flush and then press it on. There. A little bit of a challenge, I think, to get the adhesive on, but it's worth it because it helps put it onto the glimmer paper. So here we have it. Then what you're going to do is you're going to run it through your die cutting machine with the die. Let me show you how you set the die up. So you're going to set the die up onto your paper so that you have this big open area right here. So you put it on like this so that your top and your left is about even. So basically right, left, top is even. Let me show you on the card. It's going to look like this. So here's pretty even, even, even. Then you have this big open space down here. So you run it through, and then I later found out, I prepped these in advance, but I later found out, don't be so worried about poking everything out perfectly. I used my die brush, took out most of it, and then I was poking it through so that I could use this on the video with no problems. Well, then later I was putting a couple together, and actually if you don't poke it through, once you pull this adhesive off, it actually pulls away most of the clippings that are on the inside. Yeah, pretty brilliant. So we're going to pull this away. And I'm going to pull this other side away. And I got a little piece down here that I need to pull away. There we go. And then you're going to take your paper and you're going to set this in so that all four borders are even. And I keep it so that the darkest part of whatever it is I've got is going to be at the bottom. So this is kind of a bluish color down here, so that's towards the bottom. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other piece of glimmer here. So again, I have the darkest part to the bottom. I just peel all this away. And you know, getting it started to peel away is kind of a little bit of a problem too, or at least it is for me. I'm sure other people have no problems. But you can take a scissors and just get it started a little bit, or take your pick tool also works. All right, then you're going to set this again right here so all four borders are nice and even. Press it on, and it works so beautifully. Everything is just nice and tight. You don't have to mess with glue. Because, you know, putting things on glimmer paper can be a little challenging sometimes. Honestly, I think the best way to do it is just to use those adhesive sheets when you're doing this kind of a project. You could also use, what do you call it? Glue dots. Glue dots adhere really, really well to glimmer paper. All right. So now what we're going to do is flip these over and add some glue, because we're going to put this down now onto our brick and mortar. So let me grab it. Got our brick and mortar here, and now what we're going to do is set this in so that the top and the left are nice and even. Give it a press, and then we'll grab the other one. Oh, doesn't that just pop and look so gorgeous, you guys? Just boom, like that. How fun. And we'll do the other one. Oh, it is so much fun. This is such a fun card design. I hope everybody cases me. You do not need my permission. In fact, I'll provide a free PDF for you on my blog in a few days once I put this post up. So you don't have to ask me if you can use it. Yes, yes, use it. I love to see people use my designs. All right, then the next thing we're going to do is and this will be the giveaway, by the way. I've got some black glitter organdy, don't have a clue how to say that, ribbon. And what I'm going to do, honestly, I really need to keep these sheets in the photo here. What I'm going to do is trim it just a little bit bigger than what I need here to do a wrap. So we're going to do a little wrap, and it's going to be so easy to know where to put this because you're going to line it up even with the bottom of this black panel where you have your die cut. So makes it super easy to remember how to do that. Oh, you guys, yes, so many of you are commenting and you are loving this card. That's fantastic. I do want to say a quick little hi to all my YouTube viewers. They watch this much later than you guys on Facebook, but they also often will comment and let me know where they're watching from. If you're fairly new to my channel, please subscribe either on YouTube or if you're watching on Facebook, like my Facebook page, which is @StampingToShare. And thank you so much for all those likes. It's great. And a lot of people who like my page and YouTube channel also sign up for my weekly newsletters, which is great because I provide a free PDF for you every single week. I don't think people realize that. And it's always something I don't put on my blog and I don't put it on Facebook. So it's something special and unique just to my newsletter subscribers. So here we go. We've got this much done. Now we're going to take another piece of the sparkle. No, it's not sparkle. Let me just read it. Glittered organdy ribbon. Yes, it's glitter because sometimes it even comes off, but what would glitter be if it didn't come off? So we're just cutting two more little pieces about the same length that we cut those other pieces. We're going to bring it here and we're just going to do a little wrap. There we go. So nice and pretty. So you can make that as tight as you want and do the same thing over here. Just a cute little wrap. And then we'll trim that up in a minute once we see kind of how it's working with our sentiment. And speaking of our sentiment, I need to get going on that. I should have done that sooner, I think. So let me grab the things we're using here. All right, so what I did is we have some more tools here. We have the stitched shape dies. So all of these dies, whether they're square, oval, or circle, have a little stitching just magically appears once you die cut it. I love that. I remember back in the day, like in the 2000s, when we used to take a paper piercing tool and pierce all the way around, making our own little stitching, and then we'd take a marker and, you know, draw the line to make it look like we sewed it. Oh my gosh, was that time consuming? So this is way, way better. So I used the second largest stitched shape circle. There we go. So we're going to take two of these, and I have a backup in case I goof up, because that does happen. I have my tuxedo black ink. I have my happy birthday, because again, these are going to my downline members and to you and to my winners. And these are birthday cards, fantastic summer birthday cards. And there it is. All right. Okie dokie. Let's put the cover back on. And we're going to flip this over. And I prefer to have waited a little bit, but we don't have time because I forgot to do it in advance. So we'll just proceed. Hopefully I don't smear anything. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put dimensionals on all three of these, or on both of these circles. 3 dimensionals on each one. There we go. Then we're going to set these aside for a second. And now what we're going to do is we're going to attach to our card bases. So look, oh my gosh, I love it. So we're just going to take some multi-purpose liquid glue and whip that around on all 4 edges. Flip it over, and we're going to set it into our card just like so. With the glue, you can wiggle it around a little bit. Gives you that little bit of wiggle room, which is great. And then we'll go ahead and do the same thing to this one. And now it's just a matter of adding our sentiment, and then we're done. That's it. So let me flip these dimensionals off. And we'll take our happy birthday. We'll get this centered in here, right here. So you can make it straight or you can make it crooked. I know. I think it's the accountant in me, but I like it straight. But for those of you that are not straight, go ahead and make it crooked. It's totally up to you. There we go. Then we're going to take this little guy here and we're just going to trim it up now that I can kind of see where I want it trimmed. Do the same thing up here. And we have one card complete. So pretty. All right, then we're going to do the same thing over here on the Magenta Madness card. We'll trim that up, the ribbon, just to make it a little more perfect. This ribbon's pretty nice to work with. You can manipulate it pretty well because it's kind of stiff. And it stays where you want it to stay, which I really like about this ribbon. And it makes a great Halloween ribbon too, because it'll add sparkle to your Halloween cards, and it's black. So keep that in mind for the future. All right, there it is, you guys. Do you not love it? Oh, I love it, love it, love it. All right, so I think I'll put all of them out here that we worked with. So fun. Here we go. So fun. Thank you again, everybody, for stopping by, watching my Facebook Live today. You're welcome again to like my page, whether it's here or like my YouTube channel. I truly appreciate it. Have a great week, you guys, and I'll be back on Thursday with another card for you. Talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.